Has President Marcos's charm offensive effectively worked for Trump now that the latter only decreased our tariff rate by a mere point? We discussed this with Mariela Fletcher, National Chair of the National Federation of Filipino-American Associations. Good evening, Mariela. Welcome to The Big Story.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, Mariela, what's your take on, well, there are mixed reviews back here on the reduction, the mere 1% reduction in tariff. What's the take? What's your own take?
Okay, well, first of all, we acknowledge the recent decision by the US government to impose that 19% tariff on goods imported from the Philippines. However, it also sends a mixed signal. While the decrease is a slight concession, the overall rate remains significantly high, potentially affecting, trade flows and the competitiveness of the Philippine exports in the U.S. So this is just more than the decision is more than just a trade statistics. It will affect jobs, it will affect families and the future of Filipino workers and businesses on both sides of the Pacific.
And if you put that vis-a-vis, Mariela, with the other defense programs that should come to fruition soon, we have that boat repair bay in Palawan, we have this ammunition hub that they're proposing to put up in Subic Bay. Do you feel that we as Filipinos should even feel more shortchanged?
I think there is an economic impact definitely on the Philippines because a tariff is a tax placed on goods coming from another country. So when the U.S. imposes that 19% tariff, that means Philippine products become 19% more expensive for American buyers. So the economic impact of that is really going to be very huge. And on your question, I think there really is going to be so much of impact on the Filipino-Americans in our community here in the U.S.
Plus, we are agreeable to zero tariffs on on American-made cars, wheat and soy products, as well as pharmaceutical goods.
Yes, yes. So this is that's the reason why it really is it's nice, it's good that we got that, but it seems like there is really a mixed signal that is happening right now in between the U.S. and the Philippines.
Well, Mariela, President Trump did describe President Marcos as a tough negotiator. What did you make of that? And was there really little wiggle room to begin with? Or do you think the Philippine government, or Mr. Marcos particularly, could have negotiated better terms?
Well, he could have negotiated better terms, but I do think that the Philippines at this point should now look for other trade partners actively to diversify, what is going on right now, because diversifying the trade does not mean it's just expanding your opportunity
We're losing you.
I'm sorry.
Mariela, can you still hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think it's our internet connection.
Yeah.
be,
Well, we're in the middle of two storms. That's why.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yes, you're
Okay.
right. We should consider exploring other markets and also considering that we are, President Marcos said more than 100 years of relationship with the U.S. We've been a long ally of the U.S. and other countries, Indonesia, for example, has the same tariff rate.
But remember, the Philippines has always been, lagi natin sinasabi, resilient tayo.
Hindi,
And I do,
parang di tayo binibigyan ng halaga kung importante tayong ally at matagal na, hindi ba?
yes, that is the sentiment, that is the feeling right now. But I do think that when we move forward, we just have to, the U.S. and the Philippines really are committed, if I can say that, committed to constructive negotiation. I do think that it is going to come along very soon. There should be another meeting or a continuous meeting between the two countries.
Mariela, let's backtrack a bit. Heading into the state visit of President Bongbong Marcos to the White House, what were you expecting and what were you hoping to hear?
I was, with the 20% tariff that was put on us earlier, and then with the hope that we would get something much better, just like the other countries. Each and every one of us here, we were expecting to have, a better negotiated tariff. However, the Philippines is not as big as the other countries, if I can say that, just like Japan. Japan is a very big ally and actually stronger economically. Remember, they make cars. Philippines, we have very labor-intensive products. We are not as big as Japan's trade. They do have also a free trade, if I'm not mistaken, a bilateral agreement that they can negotiate every now and then. Unlike the Philippines, we don't even have a free trade agreement with the United States. So they have there is quite a big contrast between the two, between us and also Japan.
But there's also Vietnam and Indonesia. They both managed to negotiate down the tariffs levied on them by the White House. And to think, they're actually a bit more, let's just use the term, friendly with China, right? And also, speaking of that, President Trump did say, it's okay, pursue your independent policy with China. We're also trying to be better friends with China. Did that surprise you at all?
Yes, of course. But again, let's think more positively. I think the Philippines can diversify their trade by strengthening their ties with their other neighbors. Like you just said, that Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia. We have to also revisit maybe some of our different bilateral agreements with other countries, maybe like South Korea. So these are things that I think the Philippines can do to diversify this trade.
Well, Mariela, are there steps that your federation, Mariela, do we still have you? Mariela?
Okay, hinigop na ni Dante o ni...
Na Fujiwara.
Nasa gitna siya, no? Fujiwara.
Mariela, sorry, we're gonna check that again. Can you hear us?
I know.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask if there would be any efforts on your part, your federation, to possibly help in advocating for better trade terms, fairer trade terms.
This is our organization may not be in. We would be able to, in terms of just making a call to action. I think that would be how I would say it. So we would encourage our elected leaders to support fair trade, if I can say it, fair trade that will uplift working families across the borders. So I would like to also urge the Filipino Americans to stay informed and support small businesses and continue advocating for economic justice and inclusion. So we do have we should be able to call on our leaders, our community leaders, to do the same. So we have to raise awareness. We have to support Filipino products, if I can say that, to continue to buy lahat ng Philippine made, which we always do here in the U.S. And definitely encourage more diplomacy, not division. As a matter of fact, we have to be more diplomatic in our trade.
But the main issue, Mariela, confronting the community, Filipino-American community in the U.S. is really immigration, the hardline stance of President Trump. Did you expect President Marcos to raise that, or would that have been suicide?
That is a very touchy topic right now, knowing that last weekend I was in DC and there was a cruise ship that, again, have had problems with the cruise ship owners, cruise ship workers. And we are in the process of, as a community, calling on to our embassy, calling on to our leaders to help the Filipino workers, ship workers who are Filipino citizens, not even green card holders. So that is another problem we are facing right now. And yes, could have been discussed. There was nothing in the news that says anything about immigration problems at the moment that is affecting the lives of Filipinos and Filipino Americans here. Should have been handled.